Yo, it's your boy Uncle Cooley. Welcome back to the Toast Up Podcast. This is episode 11. And if you don't know what that means, this means to open a sincere transformation upon people. That's what Toast Up stands for. On the right side of me, we have my boy Denzel. Boy Denzel.
Hello.
Yes, sir. I've known Denzel for a while. Definitely back in 2018. He told me he was going through a lot. So this episode topic, we're going to talk about spirituality, karma, and something that I don't even think is stronger than anything. Definitely positivity. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, let me ask you this. How's everything going with you?
Man, life is good. I can't complain, man. Life is good right now.
Okay. What's so good about it?
Just where I am in my own state of mind. I feel like I've come to, a better stable place. I mean, obviously you're going to have your ups and downs on some days, but I feel like I've, kind of come into more of my own knowing of my inner self.
Okay.
And I think that's what's bringing me so much peace is because I'm getting to understand and know my inner self.
Okay. So it's most definitely the consistency that you're getting with waking up every day, having the same positive mindset, or I guess like just knowing yourself. I
mean, I would probably joke and say it's almost kind of realistic to say that you can have a positive mindset every single day.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible.
But I think it's more like training the mind and being able to understand the situations that you're in, being able to analyze them from every angle possible, giving yourself the ability to see every end of the spectrum without freaking out at the one thing that you're locked onto, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I believe if you give yourself the ability, just give yourself a try, is kind of what I say, to just see everything from all angles.
How do you do that? Like, how do you see one thing from numerous perspectives when you're your own person? Like, do you how does that happen?
I think it starts with pulling away your own bias. Your own bias, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I think pulling that away first and being able to give yourself the almost like putting yourself in someone else's shoes and looking at it from, well, why is it that their reaction to said this is this and this and this is that? Instead of like going, well, I wouldn't do that. I kind of feel like a lot of people can be a little too self-absorbed.
Okay.
And I mean, that's only natural. Like, we're human,
Right.
You're going to be focused on yourself. That's fine.
Right.
But I do believe, like, if you give yourself the try to just analyze things from a different perspective than your own, you'll probably see more results or if not, maybe some solutions.
Would you say that, seeing things from different perspectives or putting yourself in many people's shoes, would you say that creates opportunity?
Oh, a lot of opportunity.
Okay.
You create a lot of opportunity. And sometimes it's hard to do because it might not be your social norm. You know what I mean? It might not be your personality to be, outgoing or whatever. But again, I think it kind of boils down to like, well, you can live with all the thoughts of, well, if I just did this or if I just did that, like, okay, give yourself the try.
Right. Okay.
Give yourself that shot.
Okay. I like it. So my first question for you, do you mind unlocking your phone? Because my phone is actually using 4K.
That's the first question.
Yeah.
Unlock
Okay.
the phone.
Yes, sir. All right. So listen, let me ask you this. Can you fake positive energy? Because I know that, a lot of millennials say they wear a mask. A lot of millennials say they go to work, or sometimes when they're around their friends, they still feel alone and lonely. You know what I mean? So I'm asking you, can you fake positive energy?
Like me, myself? Or
you personally, or just in general? Like, if you want to touch both, that's cool.
I would say, well, yeah, you could definitely fake positive energy. I don't think people would be saying I could wear a mask without really meaning it. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure there have been, many people, even myself, where we've been in situations where you kind of just feel like you're on the outside, even though you completely deserve to be where you are. You kind of just feel like you're on the outside. And it could be like with a group of friends. It could even be family, and that's kind of hard to get to. That's really hard. It's a hard spot to be in. You know what I mean? And that's where like you really can't just act like, yeah, like everything's A-okay over here, but deep down you're holding a lot of things. You know, and I personally, because I've done that several times. Like I can, you know, I try being as positive as I can be, but like, you know, like I said, you're gonna slip some days. And like some days I don't want people that I love to see me in those down positions, because it's not that I feel like they depend on me to be this outgoing positive person, but like it's a sense of like, I just can't do that to them. I don't want to see them let down from that. Even though it's probably not my responsibility to feel that way, but you know, being who I am personally, like I have been there where I'll fake positive energy just to get by to the next.
Yeah.
Is it fair? No.
Is it when you say it's fair, is it fair to you, or is it fair to them?
Both.
Okay.
Because that's something that you're gonna hark on. You're gonna feel like, dang, like I really was just like sitting there, like whatever. But it's like, they don't really know what's going on anyway. But it's like, yeah, you don't really say anything,
right?
You know what I mean?
It's crazy
because it kind of goes both ways, you know. And the reason why I feel like I've been able to come to like look at things and take a step back sometimes from me is like because I've been in those positions where I've been stuck and showing fake positive energy, and I'm like, nah, that's not who I am. I don't want to do that,
right?
You know, like if I'm upset, I'm gonna let my friends know I'm upset.
Right.
I'm not gonna hold back, because when they're upset, they do the same to me.
Right.
And I'm right there, you know?
Yeah.
And most friendships, if it's a two-way street and it's going the right way, it's open arms both ways, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes like where I've always gotten stuck is being scared to be the person to be at the low point when I'm always the one with like open arms trying to take everyone in. Like, I got you.
So you feel as though that it's your priority to be the glue, to be Denzel. Yes. Because I always say, I don't like, sometimes Carlos don't want to be Carlos. You know what I mean? Like I'm not even trying to sound arrogant, but Carlos is the perception of is always positive, always trying to motivate people, but never discouraged, never can be sad or never quiet. He's always energetic. So you feel as though that you have the stigma of being Denzel. How does that affect who you really want to be?
It doesn't for me, because being Denzel is who I am.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's something that I had to grow to love, because
okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Is Denzel who you really, really want to be, or is Denzel true to self?
Denzel's true to self.
Okay.
Because at my core, I know my values and I know who I am for me. And I think that's where I'm coming to find this peace with myself too. Because before I won't deny, like I would even say like I didn't like Denzel.
No, I understand.
You know
bro. What I mean? I do. I can relate. You know what I mean?
Because like Denzel is ready to give you a joke or two, ready to ask how your day is, da 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 da. And it's not that that's bad, because like that is who I am. But when I was at my points where I guess I was at this conflict of understanding my inner self, I was like, who is this character Denzel? Because today I don't feel like that.
Did you have anybody that's asking you like, Denzel, like how are you feeling about your spirituality, your mental health? Like, did you have somebody that you could consider a Denzel? Or did you have to face your inner conflict with just being alone and figuring yourself out? You know what I mean? Like, do you say to yourself, like, I wish I had a friend like me? You know what I mean?
Nah, I think my thing is I've had so much support in the areas that I didn't expect it to. That made me confirm, like, yeah, that's why you're Denzel. It's because in the areas where you're not really paying attention to right now, there's so many people who are just loving you,
right,
supporting you, pushing for you, you know? And I think that's what like got me to that point, because I had to learn to appreciate that. And then that made me appreciate who I am, because if they see it in me when I'm feeling like this, when I'm at my lowest right now, it's true, you know? And I mean, obviously some people don't like to say like, oh, what everyone says about you is who you really are. But I do feel like there is some truth in that, you know?
Yeah.
Like if certain people would always, like, for example, people would say like, you're more quiet, you know? Or sometimes he's really more energetic. Like, it's about what you show, right?
Right.
But then you could probably meet people who know me who be like, yo, Denzel's the craziest dude we've ever met.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's really about like just being, I guess, really just appreciating that self.
Okay.
That made me get to this.
Okay. So my next question is, because I want to tap into this because I'm glad that we're here now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So the fact that you said that, you know, people can fake energy, positive energy. Mm-hmm. How do you think karma helps that when it comes to opportunity or trying to achieve the desires that we want? Because if you're faking something, is that real karma that you're getting? You know what I mean? Like, think about it. Like, if I'm being fake to myself or, you know, trying to live up to everybody else's expectations, am I getting the real karma that I deserve? Like, do you think you got the real karma, or do you think it's possible to fake energy to get the real karma?
I think I got the real karma.
Okay.
Because I really started kicking my own rear end. Mm-hmm. And then that's when I'm like, wait, something's off. Mm-hmm. Like,
elaborate on that.
As in, like, the days that I'm staring at the mirror like, yo, who is this kid? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm just like, wait, why am I beating myself up?
Right.
You know? Mm-hmm. Like, Denzel loves himself for who he is. Mm-hmm. We know that. Mm-hmm. Why are you tearing yourself down? Because someone probably knocked you out your little comfort zone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like that karma came up. Mm-hmm. Because especially like, in my opinion, like it kind of goes both ways with faking energy, because like sometimes you're faking your energy to deflect the world. You know what I mean?
No. Like faking energy to live up to everybody else's standards, or like faking energy so you don't have to live in the world that is currently the real world.
Yes.
Okay. So basically just a positive mindset.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like acting like you're all goody good, you know, like everything's all A-okay. It's like you're using that to deflect everything because you really don't want to be indulged in the real world.
Right.
And I feel like that's going to catch up to you, because it's like you can only fake that so much, because you're going to only break down eventually. Mm-hmm. You're going to get tired of always having to act okay to the point you snap. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Or like you're going to get tired of having to wear a fake smile everywhere. Mm-hmm. Or you're going to get tired of having to try to live up to someone else's expectations, knowing that they're not even yours. That's going to catch up to you. Mm-hmm. I just feel like that's the way I think life has a way of letting you know, like, yo, hey,
yeah,
you're going a little bit.
Yeah. So
in terms of spirituality, like for me, I'd say like I feel like God really does like throw you a little bone. It's like, oh, yeah, go ahead.
So what way, you know, not staying true to self or faking, you know, positive energy, what ways can that catch up with you in life? You know what I mean? Like, is it more so like depression? Is it more so like what are some examples? You know what I mean? Because I definitely want to tap into this.
I think for me, it was depression.
Okay.
That's where it caught up to me, because I really just got tired of acting okay
right.
and being like the group friend therapist who's always ready to give you an answer. Like I got tired of like having to be the person to like indulge in a conversation with people. You know what I mean? I got tired of having to like, oh yeah, like whatever, like totally I can do that for you.
Yeah.
Knowing damn well I got something else that I would rather much be doing.
So
you know what I mean?
Yeah, so is Denzel, like, is this in your character making other people happy make you happy?
Of course, I to a fault, I sadly am a people pleaser. And I think that's just because the way that I was raised. Mama always just taught me to be nurturing to everyone. You know what I mean? I don't know if everyone can relate to this, but for me, growing up in a single mother household with basically all females, 2 sisters, only boy, you know, I guess I got a little bit of a soft side to me.
No, I understand,
but
bro.
Like, my mom always taught me to just like be loving, you know, be there for people in a way that it's substantial enough for them.
Okay.
Where you're not giving away all of you. But sometimes I get a little too pulled into that, because when's enough, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So do you think, you know, it's normal in today's society to give someone half of you? You know what I mean? Like, Like when you first meet somebody, of course you're not gonna be, I guess, quote unquote, the real you, like the person you are. You give them half of you, like you kind of more reserved. Do you think, or do you consider that being fake, or are you just letting your ego? Because I feel like that's just ego. You know what I mean?
I think it is ego because I think we're all a little scared to a T for everyone to know the littlest things about us. You know what I mean? I think we all like to hold things onto ourselves, and like once we really do, I guess, fully trust someone or feel like, okay, there's some kind of commitment to one another that I can share this with you without being embarrassing. So I don't know if it's fake, because if you're coming from past bad experiences, then you're basically testing the waters to protect your feelings from what you've already been through. You know what I mean?
Would you say that vulnerability, would you say that's more so for you as a truth to self, or would you say vulnerability fights the ego?
Vulnerability definitely fights the ego, because we don't think about it. You don't want to be vulnerable to anything, right?
Not to anyone.
Well, yeah,
not to people I don't know, because I don't trust them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like to things that we perceive as unfamiliar, we don't want to be vulnerable to. We'd be more comfortable being vulnerable to something that we understand, that we can connect to. You know, whether that be like a certain teacher that can impact you. You know, some teachers were quick to push them off, but there's probably that one teacher that really gets to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some kind of connection there that allows you to be vulnerable enough for like their whatever that they're doing to get to you and impact you in some way. Like I've had that with a lot of my teachers. A lot of my music teachers have just been able to just like tell me like, yo, you need to stop being so hard on yourself about this right now. Like, chill out. You got it.
Yeah, I feel you.
You know what I mean? And same with my friends, like just reminding me like, yo, you got it. Why are you so hard on yourself, dude?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like nobody else sees what you see. So that's probably one of the reasons why I know myself, I'm hard on myself, because nobody sees the vision that I see. And the same thing with you. Like nobody is seeing the vision every day. You know, like, you know, whether you're with your significant other or whether, you know, with your best friend or siblings, they don't wake up every day seeing what you see.
Yeah, because let's be real, like you're trapped with yourself till the day you're done. You are always you. There's nothing that'll ever change you from being you.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
So it is hard waking up with yourself and people are like, oh, I'm so proud of you. And you're like, about what?
Right.
You're like, we're like that theory. I guess it's a theory where like, you know, it's faster for someone else to notice that you're losing weight before you do.
Yeah.
Well, you're living with yourself every day.
Yeah.
So you don't see all the small little changes.
Right.
Versus somebody who sees you here and there,
right?
You know, or it's the same way where like sometimes your friends go off for summer vacation from school, you know, and then everybody comes looking back all a little different.
Yeah,
you know, probably didn't see each other as much. I mean, I know for like coming back from quarantine, a lot of my friends looked hella different. I'm like, holy shit. Like,
and it's crazy though. Like we were in quarantine, from March? And if you took it seriously, you were in quarantine from March all the way to August. Basically. If you took it seriously. Yeah. But if you didn't, you was from March to June?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. You know what I mean? If that, because once the gyms start opening up and it got, warm outside, everybody's going to the beach. Everybody wants to eat, dine out, go outside. And
they were like, we want to live normal again.
Facts, yeah. Crazy, right?
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I was at the bar too. Shit.
Yeah, fuck it, right? Yeah, it is what it is.
I'll bring a mask.
You know what I mean? As long as you wear your mask, you good with the hand sanitizer.
Hey,
you feel me? You got to do it.
Wipes.
So I wanna ask you a follow up question, man, because I feel like we're having a great conversation, we're gonna stay on the topic of positive energy. Or Carmen, do you think you're going through the hardest part of your life? As a 23-year-old, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think you're going through the hardest part of your life right now? Like, is it hard to stay positive when you're trying to figure out who you want to be and knowing yourself as a person?
I can't say it's the hardest part of my life right now because I ain't done yet.
Right.
But it is the most interesting time in my life right now.
Okay. Elaborate.
Because senior in college.
Okay.
You know, didn't we? Shout out to mama, but we knew it was gonna be hard to get here.
No, facts.
We didn't think it would get this far, but hey, we still pushing. Still got a lot more to go. You know, I just didn't think in the middle of a pandemic that I'd still be able to like try to kind of live normal right now. And it's so interesting because today is just right now it's just such a cool time to kind of be alive. Like it sucks with a pandemic, do not get me wrong, but it's just so interesting how like we've adapted to I don't want to say new things because I feel like we've always had all the, you know, new commodities that we use for, you know, with the pandemic. But I think it's just so cool to see how everyone's like adapting to this thing and how some people are reacting to it. And I think it's just a really interesting time to be alive. I mean, not even just like with the pandemic, you know, we got everything from BLM going on to the election and politics, you know, you name it. Just even yesterday, sadly, RIP to those in Boulder, Colorado, you know.
The word is getting crazy, bro.
Like that was crazy to hear. And I'm just like, man, like.
Especially what happened last week, man, due to, I guess in Georgia, you know, the massacre that just
with the I don't want to, you know, with the Asian population, I believe. It was just like, it's just crazy right now to be alive because there's so much happening at once.
Right.
And who would have ever thought all it took was a pandemic to just shut everyone down for a minute to see how crazy things really are. How many things that we just let fly on the day to day.
Do you feel like the world is currently restarting? Or do you think we were already, you know, going through that phase as like everything is just to an end to the beginning now and we're just now realizing it?
I don't think the world's restarting. I think people are just now really seeing things for what they are and they can't ignore it anymore.
Like what?
Just everything from what we've seen with example, the George Floyd.
Okay, so right. social justice.
Social justice. Then we got everything from the White House insurrection.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Don't even get me started on that, bro.
That's what I'm saying, boy.
Bro, I said, bro, let some niggas do this, bro.
That's what I was saying the whole time.
Like, if you, bro, it's no, like, you may die in there, bro. Like, you know what I mean? But it's crazy that we understand, you know, how social justice is getting handled right now. But I feel like everything is definitely coming to a digital stage.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
In terms of like digital, I feel like we've already been in this really high digital stage. I just think because of the pandemic, again, like we don't have to ignore it and we're kind of forced to be at home a little more or be with ourselves a little more, that we're seeing all these new, I don't want to say new, or these new advanced things just dropping out of nowhere. You know what I mean? And I feel like the digital age is really cool because it's been stretched for so long. If you think about it, you know, coming from like, would you say like the 80s? Would you give the digital age to the 80s? Maybe a little further back than that?
I would say 90s because that's when the internet came around.
See, okay.
You know what I mean?
I'll give you that. I just said age, you know, given the fact that like some companies were coming up and boom and everybody was doing their thing. Maybe more like late 80s, early 90s, whatever. But around there, the boom that had happened. And look how well it carried over into the next, to the early 2000s. And then we were fortunate enough to see it, adapt to it, and now it's our turn. Okay. And now you could just see how like the cycle is just like it's really always going up,
right?
And it's really cool because it's like how did we get to this? You know, so fast,
right?
Like out of nowhere. Because like I still remember when the first that's a knife that's a red, right? I remember when my sister had the iPhone 4S.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy how times change, bro.
Yeah,
like a little bit of itty, you know. Back when I was when I was a freshman in high school, little small 4S's. Yeah. You know what I mean? But
with the glass bag.
Yeah.
And everybody cracked it.
Yeah, everybody cracked it, right? But I want to definitely stay on topic.
My fault.
No, it's not your fault, bro. Let me ask you this. You know, since you're 23, I know we're still trying to figure out the word. I'm 24. Which one is more fulfilling to you? good karma or positive energy? Like waking up every day receiving good karma even though you're in a bad state of mind, or waking up with positive energy but having bad karma?
I kind of feel like you can't have one without the other. I feel like you really need one another.
Do you think?
Because I feel like
they go hand in hand.
Yeah, I think positive energy and good karma go hand in hand. I feel like what you put out into the world is most likely what you're going to receive back.
Which one do you prefer?
But my fault. Man, that's a hard question.
Like, would you rather wake up being positive, receiving bad karma, or having good karma when you're a terrible person or you're not in the state of mind for you to really receive those blessings? You know what I mean?
I take the first option just because I know I love a challenge every day.
For real?
I love to push myself, man. I feel like I'd rather wake up with positive energy, ready to tackle whatever's coming my way, knowing that's going to be another experience under my belt that I get to share with somebody else. Whether that's for a friend, that could be someone's parent, it could be my sister, it could be, who knows, my kids down the line, or somebody else's kid. I don't know. I just feel like I'm here. I kind of feel like a part of me has always been this person who I'll rather take all those bad experiences, work my good into it, and then shed the light on it and give it to someone else and say, but you got your choice to make. Because I had to deal with this. It's almost like that one line in, I can't remember.
It's deep, song. Bro, because for you to wake up every day and decide that I'm going to have that attitude of gratitude, to have this positive mindset, and everything around you is just going to hell, basically.
I mean, I think of Job sometimes. If you know the story of Job.
No, what is it?
In the Bible, story of Job. Basically, if I make it really simple, Job was a faithful servant of God, and God and the devil kind of made a bet, and God was like, all right, look, I'll show you how loyal he is to me. You can do whatever you want to. Go ahead. Took his kids away, took his wives away, took his farm animals, you name it.
Shit.
House damn near made him sick. And he's probably had corona, probably had the road.
Probably. Shit. Shit,
my
man, damn.
He went through it all.
Right.
And still was like, the devil's basically a liar and my faith is with God. Now, for me, the way,
I feel like if you reach that level of that type of divine, you're damn near unstoppable.
Yeah. And I know I'm not perfect. I know I'm going to have days where I'm upset and I'm ready to curse the world out. But again, it goes back to me having to step back from my own bias for a second and go, all right, D, we see why you're upset. Give yourself a try to figure out, how do we work around this?
Right.
What are our options right now? I played a lot of sports growing up, and basketball is one of my favorite sports. And I always loved the fact that in my high school, we ran this read and react offense where it wasn't set plays. It was you reacted to what the defense gave you. And that was something that, like, oddly enough, I kind of carry with me, is I'd rather react to what you got give me.
Okay.
And handle it. And take that experience and make it my own, because I don't feel like, I just feel like life is always going to be throwing curveballs at you. And it's like, why not wake up with a mindset of, I'm ready to take this on. Like, you're not taking me down. You're going to have to chop my legs off or something, you know what I mean? To really get me to stop pushing for myself, because the dreams that I have in me are not instilled into me for nothing. You know what I mean?
What motivates you?
What motivates? Definitely family, God always. Obviously family, God, and definitely myself and my friends. And the biggest thing that I think actually will always motivate me is my friends and my family's success.
Do you think, like, are you the friend that wants to be more successful or as successful as your friends, or do you want a certain type of success so you can, I guess, keep your friends and family happy so you can do the things that you want to do for them?
See,
what is it?
For me personally, this is my definition of success. Living on my own dime, my own time. Being able to support anyone that I can, who I really love and who I, who I got to be there for. Being able to help the world the best that I can. And that's about it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I ain't going to take, like, for me, success is something that it's personal. I feel like everybody tries to put a stereotype on what success is. You see, like, the same way they try to give, like, the American dream. That's successful.
Okay, I see what you mean now.
You know what I mean? Everybody wants to give you a definition of success, what success is. But I'm like, listen, this is why, and I blame my mom for this one because she a goofball. But
shout out to mom.
I always shout out to mom.
Yes, sir.
I never forget because I always like will talk to her. And we always chit chat, and I always say, Mom, if human beings were the ones, right, to define the word perfect, right? We think perfect is 100%, whatever, right? If human beings were allowed to define the word perfect, yet we are imperfect ourselves, what makes me trust that what they believe is their version of success will be successful for me? The same way that we're imperfect, but we call knowledge what we know. Well, what about what we don't know?
People say that knowledge is power, but I say that knowledge is only power if you can only apply it. And that's through, technically wisdom.
Yeah.
Experience. You know what I mean?
Very true.
But it's crazy that you say that because I felt like a lot of people go through that. You know what I mean? Trying to find success, looking at other people's success. I feel like, you can use that definitely for inspiration and motivation.
Sure. Like, there's nothing wrong being inspired by somebody's success. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
I mean, we're human beings. Of course, we're gonna be like, oh, dang, I want to be like that. But it's like, okay, but is that really, like, is that you? Yeah. Is that your success though? Yeah. And I feel like, and it's the same way, like, I always kind of make this pun where I say, not a pun, but I always kind of say, like, at the world's clock, everybody's trying to fit their time on the world's clock. For a second, stop and just do it on your clock. That's why I say, when I'm living on my own dime, I'm living on my own time.
You're running your marathon, basically. That's all it is.
You know what I mean?
Running at your own pace. Because
what's the point of running? Like, I get the world's clock. I kind of get it. But at the same time, it's like, why are we letting people who are imperfect define perfection?
Yeah, or give you society standards.
Yeah,
when I feel like God gave us our own fingerprint, so nobody else on the earth or even in the universe has that fingerprint.
Here. Exactly. You saying that that's gonna open that iPhone? Yeah, only you can do it.
Only you can do it. So it's like like real shit.
Yeah.
So it's like the way you talk, the way you walk and think, you're the only person that can do that. So why are you allowing other people to set standards? Understand that you have family and friends that you want to, I guess, fulfill their happiness because of your success.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you just said, you got to run at your own marathon. You know what I mean? You got to run at your own pace on your marathon. You know what I mean? So I want to ask you this. Do you think, most people say if you're not growing, you're dying. Do you believe that if you're under 25? Like, if you're not growing, you're dying. Because, at this rate, you can be, I guess.
Again, that goes back to exactly on your own time, though. Because we still hear of, like, for example, I've, like me taking therapy for my own needs. Most of my therapists are now going for their doctorate, and they're like 39. Because they literally say to me, like, yeah, I would have wished I did it this way.
Yeah.
But I was caught up in XYZ.
Right.
And, everyone has their own circumstances. That's fine. You know what I mean? Like, everybody got their own circumstances. But again, success and you getting to your own time is based on you. Like, everybody has their own situations at 25. Some people might be living in mama's basement. Some people might be out doing their dream job out of college. Some people might be taking a gap year.
So to ask you this, all those things that you just listed were external.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have a high level of success, even if you have your own car, your own apartment, are you growing mentally, spiritually? You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. If that,
like, let's tap into the inner spirit wise. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
are you growing?
Are you growing, or are you staying stagnant? Because it's in reality, we may feel as though we're stagnant, like we're the same person we were yesterday, but in reality, we're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe, your brain is a muscle, so that's why it's so important to read. Meditation is for your spirit, so that's why it's so important to meditate, so you can live in the moment. Do you think? Oh, let me ask you a better question. Do you think external things help us grow, or do you think internal things help us grow?
I do think external things help us grow, but you definitely need internal things to help you grow too. Because how else are you going to deal with the external if you can't deal with your internal? You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
I feel like you need, and again, like, it's hard because it's like you're not going to necessarily do these things in phases. You know, I feel like at 25, for example, my sister, I'll tell you, like, for example, when she hit 25, she was like, yeah, I just found out I just really love photography. And she's, an RN.
But I feel like at the age of 25, you're still trying to get or know yourself. You're still trying to figure out what type of passions fulfills you.
Because like the things you did at 23 probably won't be the same.
It's not. You know what I mean? It's just like when you go to college, they expect you to, at the age of 17, 18, 19, or even 20, 21, to know what you want to do for the rest of your life.
Oh, that's hard, bro.
How the fuck are you going to know at the age of 17 you know what I mean? Like everything.
I do think everything does change. I agree.
Most things change. I would say that.
And that's a good, we don't have to remember to change, because that's a good one. Mm-hmm. But I just believe it's about everyone's situation and where they're coming from, because we all have a different story. I'd even tell you, I already knew when I was like 15 what I wanted to come to school for in high school.
It's like, you want to become a therapist, right?
No, I wanted to be a political scientist. I knew I wanted to be a political scientist, and I wanted to be a diplomat. I knew it at 15. That was exactly what I was like locked into, because I had met at the high school that I attended to, my teacher. He was just someone who just, Dr. Hodges, Dr. Miles Hodges. Shout out to that man. I love him. Got another book on the way. I love this man. But Doc really just touched me in a crazy way, because he really went out into the world and seen it for himself. And that caught me, because I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to go out into the world and see it for me. But then another big thing that started to come by for me was like, I don't want to just go out there for me and be there for me. I want to go out there and help and touch everyone around me out there. So I knew what I wanted to do, whether that would have been being a Christian minister, because I went to Christian school, a little private school, the King's Academy. Good times. Good. Yeah, we ain't gonna get into that. Good times. But I knew what I wanted to do. I knew that myself wanted to be out there in the world, impacting everyone's life, even if it meant on a bigger scale possible. You know what I mean? So I already knew, international relations, poli-sci. But again, that's just me. I can't say everyone's gonna have that opportunity. Right. You know what I mean? Some people don't really know who they are. So
you're still on the right. I'm not gonna say right. Are you still on that path?
I think yes. I think it's the path. I'm still on the path for me wanting to be a diplomat, wanting to go out there.
So you're still on that path?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Love to work for Peace Corps. I would hope they come pick me up one day.
I feel you. Because
I would love to work for Peace Corps, man. That was one of those jobs that he had mentioned. My teacher at the time, Dr. Hodges, he had mentioned that, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Like, you really just pick up and go, and you just, obviously, everyone has their intentions with it, but I personally want to be out there I want to be the person who actually went into the culture and was immersed in it for me and not for what they broadcast to tell me what it is.
Right.
Not what the textbook says that it is. You know what I mean? Because like, for example, I'm African American, right? But I was adopted by a Haitian woman.
Okay.
At 10 days old. Right? I've spent all my life learning Haitian Creole. I can speak Haitian Creole, whatever. You probably damn near would have thought I'm Haitian, right? But I'm not, right? Because I'm technically African American.
Right.
Not Haitian, but I consider myself Haitian.
Because
I was in that culture.
In the culture, yeah.
Like my mom who adopted me, his mother, that is my grandmother. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
That's me.
Yeah, that's just...
Like, I consider myself a Haitian American.
Right.
Even though I am African American.
Right.
But, you know, I don't want to say by descent, but you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's the kind of thing I want to be able to actually go out there and do in the world. It's like, I want to go out to the Middle East. Not because everybody's like, yeah, you most likely, like, you know, all these attacks. No, there's most likely, and there are amazing people over there that I would love to meet, and that would love to understand their culture, and I would love to get an insight and understand it for me, and not for what the rest of everyone else is saying it is. I want to know it for me. And that's what I feel like my gift in my life is. Like, I feel like I'm someone whose personality can just outreach and grasp people. Well, then I want to use that for a good cause.
And that's good that you know that, because you're aware of that and you can, you know, make a difference in your community or in everybody else's life. You know what I mean? Because I feel like when you finally start putting yourself first on a selfish balance, like put yourself first, but don't forget about the people that supported you or helped you or that's in your life.
Very true.
Because it's definitely a balance. But when you start prioritizing yourself, you'll see other people in your life become more positive, because that they will be inspired by, not by your success, by your personal growth. You know what I mean?
That's really interesting you say that, because that was something that I was trying to really like learn, is to prioritize myself without having to feel like it was selfish from my nurturing side of who I am. You know? And that's something I still feel like I'm learning to accept. It's like, it's okay, Denzel, to say no for the day and you need a day to yourself to breathe. It's okay, Denzel, that you just want to lay in bed
to recharge.
Yeah. Like, it's okay.
Bro. You don't even have to say it's okay. It should be normalized.
It should be normalized. But like for me, I've always just been someone who's always giving myself, and never breathing for me. And what I'm learning now is how to get that for me. And that's why I feel like right now it's such a crazy, interesting time for my life, because I'm actually learning more about me. And that, and to go back to your point about does someone like grow spiritually or individually, like, stops at 25. No, I think it comes with your own experience. Because like I know, like right now at 23, right, how I'm prioritizing myself might not be the same way that I do it at 25. Because things are going to change. I might be in a new job. Who knows? I might still be in school again. Might like doing another. You know what I mean? Whatever it may be. I might not even be in school. You know what I mean? But I'm going to have to learn to love and appreciate me for me. And that's what I had to learn, honestly, without it feeling like I was so selfish for it. I had to learn to accept, like, no, loving you for you, prioritizing you for you is a normal practice that everyone, I believe, should do. I think everyone really needs to just do that sometimes. And that's what I kind of feel like quarantine did, because we were all stuck at home. So who else were you with?
Yeah, no, facts. And a lot of people, you know, being by themselves for for too long, and they're always around people being sociable. A lot of people slipped into a state of mind of depression. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you slip into that state of mind and you get to know yourself on a deeper level, and you tap into your inner divine. But I'm glad that, you know, everybody had that opportunity to either grow or to get to know themselves a little bit more on a deeper level. You know what I mean?
And it's just crazy. Like I said before, like no one expected a pandemic to do that. because we all thought like, yeah, all right, we're gonna be home in a month. Like, fuck all that. Like, homies was come back like, yeah, Cuz Patty's about to be lit.
Nah, Cuz Patty was done for.
We was like, yeah, we about to turn up. Damn, they said the 20th heard you.
You a fool. I seen AP actually promoting it. Like, niggas not coming outside.
I was like, who coming outside with it? Heck no. I was like, I'm gonna go home.
Hell yeah, we all going home. We staying home too on Warzone. Shit.
Man, I swear it was the first time in my life I actually had to start using the self-assembling hoops and putting them out, put some water and that shit.
Yeah, right. Everybody, bro, afraid to go to the grocery store. Trying to get some damn toilet paper.
Boy, toilet paper. Was there any?
Shit. Hell no. I looked on Amazon.
Bro,
shit was sold out.
I think I saw it once. I think I saw hand sanitizer. It was like a bottle, and I saw a 4-pack. I was like, yo, mom, we gotta grab this.
You got to.
That's all we got.
You know what I mean?
That's all we got.
Specs.
The vid is serious.
Get like that. But I definitely want to wrap it up now. I feel like we touched on a lot. Anybody you want to shout out?
Shout out to all my boys out there in KDP. Shout out shout out all my friends and everybody that I love. You all know who it is. I love every single one of y'all.
Yes, sir. Look at the camera.
Y'all all the best. I love y'all.
Yes, sir.
Just remember, virginity rocks.
Promotion. All right. Well, I definitely want to thank you for coming on the show, man. I had a great time, and I felt like we tapped in, and I felt like you helped me understand how strong positivity works. You know what I mean? And actually changing the philosophy to a negative mindset to a positive mindset. So toast to that, right? You know what I mean? Toast to your achievement, toast to who you are, and toast to being positive, even though the external environment is negative, man. Toast to your achievement for being here. Love, man.
Love to you. Yes, toast to you, man. Was waiting to do this. Toast up since the first